Hello guys, let's build a new Laravel project. It's gonna be based on the Laravel Filament package. So basically we're gonna build a very nice looking dashboard, and the project is gonna be about a bookstore. So let's dive right in. Alright, so now let's go to the terminal. I hope that you guys already have Laravel installed on your machine. So basically now, since I also have the Herd server, I can do Laravel new bookstore. Perfect. And this is gonna ask me if I want any kind of starter kit. Let's go with no starter kit because we're gonna use the Filament PHP, and let's go with the pest. Do you initialize the Git repository? Yes. And now let's wait for the installation. Afterwards, it's gonna ask you to choose a database. When the question comes here, please just select SQLite because that's just a file on your system and it's very easy to start with at first. Alright, let's run the migrations and it should be done by any second now. Okay, now let's cd into the bookstore and let's hop into the code. Alright, so now we have the Laravel here installed. We have the Laravel version 11. So basically now we want this to be a dashboard. In order to do that, we need to install the Laravel Filament package. So we're here into the Laravel Filament and we go to the documentation. Let's go to get started, and all we have to do is do this. We have two commands. Let's actually copy both of those, and then let's go back to the code. Go to the Bookstore main, we run this code and we wait for the installation to run. Should be pretty fast. Alright, so the admin will be an admin because we want to have like an admin dashboard panel. Would you like to show? Yes, if you want to always do that. Okay, and now since we have this, we can go back to the project and let's go here to the Laravel. We're gonna do /admin, and after we do that we have the sign in here. So we already have Filament installed and we're gonna have like an authentication panel. Nice. So basically now we have Filament installed and it comes with this very nice authentication panel. We need to sign in, but we don't want to do that, so let's go back into the code. We firstly want to go to the admin panel provider. This came installed when you added the Filament package, and you can just put here registration, and this registration is if we go back to the website, is gonna show you that now you have the sign up for an account. So basically you can press this part, and let's just add a new password. Alright, so we sign up with that. After we sign up with that, you're gonna see this very nice looking dashboard panel. You have a sidebar, you have also here a dark theme if you want, and I think you can also do, if we go back to the code, if you want to edit your profile, I think it's also one line, profile. Yes, it's profile. So basically when you go back now, you're gonna see here, if we refresh, when you see this part, you can choose on the profile and basically edit the name, email, password, and add a new password if you want, an email address. Okay, so let's go now and build records so that we can use this application. Alright, so now we want to build a book model so that book model can store into the database all of our information for the books. So to do that, let's do PHP artisan make model, and the model we're gonna use is book. The book is gonna have a database seeder, a factory, migration policy. We don't need that for now, but we're gonna keep those three. Alright, so now we created a book. We go to the create books table, and here let's think about the books. We're gonna start with something very easy. Yes, I'll take a string, author, and description. Okay, so when we do that, we need to migrate. So let's migrate all of the things that we have. The very nice thing that we created was that since we choose the database to be SQLite, if you have the SQLite extension, I think it's called the viewer, yes, you can come back here into database.sqlite, and it's going to show you all of the information. You can see here we have the books. So we have the books table with ID, title, author, description, and it also adds some timestamps. So basically you're going to have the created at and the updated at in here. All right. After we created this model and we migrated it, let's go and also add a filament resource for that. So basically we can see into the book we have this, but we need to add the fillables for the book model, so that when you have any kind of input on the website, it's only gonna allow you to add the title, author, and description here. Okay, so besides this, we need to use the filament. I'm gonna show you something here, like if we do our PHP artisan make, and we do this, we're gonna see a list here, and filament comes with a list of new actions that you can use. The one we're gonna focus on right now is the filament resource. So basically we come here, we do the filament resource, and then let's use the model of book. And now the magic with this is that if we go to the book resource, we're gonna see here a form and a table, and also some relations and some pages. The very nice thing is that if we go to the project website and actually see what we have here, when I refresh, we're gonna have a new books here. And when you come here, you're gonna see that we have an input to add new books and a table for that. So let's start to populate those things. All right, so in order to populate this, you saw that we have a form there, and we also have a table. Here we can just add in this part the text input. The text input is, as you can see, a filament forms component. You can find out more about this exactly at their website. Okay, so we add this one. Let's add for author and description as well. The thing is, I think on the text input I don't want a text, I want a text area. Yes, and since the text area is going to be bigger. And also down there we want to also have a table, and the table is based on columns. So basically we're going to have a text column. Let's import those. So we have the title, author, and description. Okay, yeah, we also want to limit the description, since we don't have to, we don't want to have a very long string there, so it's not gonna look very nice. Okay, so since we added this, we can go back to the website, and you're gonna see now there is nothing added, but when you go to the new book, you're gonna see some inputs here. Of course, we have the title, author, and description. Now, before I do anything here, I want to go back to the code, and I want to go to the migration, because I want to see if we have anything that is not required. Since everything is required here, then we need to go back to the inputs here and actually add required, since we need to have those here. Okay, let's do those, and we're done. Now when we go back to the website, we're gonna see that everything is required. And also I want the description to actually be on 2 columns, since this needs to be full. All right, let's go back here. Description, we want columns span full, and then when we go back to the website, you're gonna see it's gonna be like this. The very nice thing that I like about Filament is that it's responsive. So basically you can use this after you create any kind of application. You're going to use it on the go, so you can log in, you're going to have a very nice looking application, and you can add and do anything that is related to a CMS, since this is going to be a CMS. Okay, so I created this element, and now when I go back to the books, you're going to see the element here. Alright, so now we have this resource with this record. But I want to actually create lots of records of books so that I can add some data on them and see how the application might be running. In order to do that, we need to go back to the code, and actually you know that when we created the model, we also created a database seeder and a factory. So let's go to the book factory, and here we're gonna populate the factory with the faker data. So basically we want the title with the faker sentence, faker name, and paragraph. By having this, then we can go, what I usually do for small projects is I just go here to the database seeder, and we have here the book factory create. Of course, now I need to import the book model. Usually you can see here you have two seeders. You have the book seeder and the database seeder. I'm just going to use the database seeder because this is whenever you run the seeder, you don't need to add any kind of other parameters there, so you can just run this. So now I do PHP artisan migrate fresh with seed because I want to have everything fresh and with the seeder. And now when I go back to the application, I need to register again because I just seeded everything. Okay, password. Now you're gonna see that we have 10 results here. Alright, so now actually I want to create like 10,000 here because I want to see more items in the application, and I also have this here, so I'm gonna use the test example. I'm not gonna create another account, so we do seed and we're gonna wait for the database to be seeded, and after it was seeded we can go back to the application, and here we test account password test.example.com. Now when we go here to the books, you're gonna see that we're gonna have like 10,000 results, so it's amazing. It's having a lot of items and it's not working slowly, so it's good. Alright, so now since we have this, we might want to actually, when we go to the dashboard, to see how many books have been added in this month. So we need to build a widget for that. Alright, so we go back to the code, and here, you remember the PHP artisan make. Here we have the list, and we can see that it also should have a filament widget somewhere around here. Yeah, it's filament widget. So we go with make filament widget, and let's say it's gonna be books analytics. Okay, I want it to be a stats overview. We can also have charts, we can add a table, but we want to go now for the stats overview. Okay, it's gonna be under the book resource. Book, I think it was, right? Yeah, book resource. Okay. And we can do it up livevar alongside other livevar components if you want to customize it, but I want to just go with the admin panel here. After we do that, we can go to admin panel provider, and down here where we have discover widgets and widgets, if you go back to the website, you can see that you have these two. So those two are widgets from the platform. So we go back to the code, we delete those two, and we go with the let's see, what was the name that I created? It was the widget, the books analytics class. Okay, so we call this, and when we go to the website, it's empty for now. Let's populate it with some data. Okay, so we go back into the code, we go to the books analytics, and just add this stat make total books, but this stat is actually a filament widget item, and also we're going to use the model, the eloquent model for the book, and we're taking the count. Now we have this here, but I don't like to write that inline. We can do that, but I actually prefer to do a protected function. Yes, get books from the last month and get books from the last year. Alright, let's do that, and now we can add it here with the books last month and books last year. Alright, the thing is that since we have the faker right now is when we go to the book factory, it doesn't have different create that, but now when I do this, of course the AI is gonna help me a lot into this part. So I do the created that, and we choose a date time between. So basically we take the date from the start of 2023, and let's not do this, let's do now. So basically since 2023 until now. So but in order to make this work, we need to do another seed, and when it's seeding the database, it's gonna put the new books that has been added since 2 years ago. So when we go back to the website, we need to refresh, and I'm gonna go with the test example example.com and password. Alright, now you're gonna see you have the total books, you have the books last month and the books last year. Alright. Yeah, so as you can see, what we did into this project was something very simple. We created a new Laravel application, we added Filament PHP into that, and with the Filament we created a new resource, which is basically the books, and we stored some books there. We created some factories, so we seeded the database with 10,000 books, so we can actually see the application running with some real data. And also we created some widgets, so we made the dashboard look a little bit better. I encourage you to test Filament. Filament is very good into building dashboard applications. It can be a CRM or an ERP system, and yeah, just give it a try. Thank you.